I have a vintage guitar. It was custom made for my mother,
Okay.
Peggy Eames, who is in our gang comedies.
Really? Cool. Well, yeah, it was our gang for years until it went on television, then it was the Little Rascals.
Correct.
And this was your mom's guitar?
Yes, so one-of-a-kind Gibson.
You sure this ain't a Peggy?
This guitar's been in the family for 75 years. A little piece of my heart would go with it to whoever was to buy it. Above $75,000 would definitely get me to part with the family heirloom.
When was she on the Little Rascals, our gang?
They were just forming it up in 1925. She won a contest with a trip to Hollywood to go and try out for our gang. So she got in with the Our Gang bunch while they were still doing silent movies. This was one of her Our Gang movies, Seeing the World. She's right here.
Okay.
Those are some pretty cool pictures.
Our Gang was one of the longest-running film series in history. It appealed to people of all ages, even though it featured kids. Funny enough, to get the kids to remember their lines, the director used a trick. He would explain the scenes as carefully as he could, and then he would film the kids as they play-acted their lines.
So do you have any pictures with her, with the guitar?
Yes.
All right, there we go, right there.
Here's where she starts playing the guitar. When she got too old to be in our gang, she started doing stage acts, singing, dancing. She wanted a guitar to do her act. She went to Gibson. It's probably one of the first SJs, Super Jumbos, that Gibson made.
Really?
Okay.
The guitar's bigger than she is.
So do you know what year she bought the guitar?
We have had people look at this and say that it's a 1938.
I mean, literally, Gibson guitars, even from the beginning when the company was called Gibson Mandolins, they used the best woods, the best construction. You don't see a lot of pre-war Gibsons anymore, you just don't. Most of the ones were bought by professional musicians, and they beat them to death.
Yeah, when kids started arriving, it stayed in the case pretty much.
I mean, it looks in absolutely great shape. You rarely see 75-year-old guitars because ones besides Gibsons would fall apart. All right, so is this supposed to be your mom right here?
Yes,
Okay. So what do you want to do with it?
I'm looking for a value of $75,000.
Okay. A pre-war Gibson is a rare find. I mean, I've paid as high as $90,000 for a Gibson in here. And if this is a real 1938 Gibson Super Jumbo, it could be worth a ton. Do you mind if I call somebody up and take a look at it?
That'd be very good.
I am going to go give someone a jingle. I'll be back.
Okay.
Old Gibsons from the 1930s can be incredibly valuable, and guitars owned by certain celebrities can be close to priceless. But since we're talking Peggy Eames and not Elvis Presley, I don't know how to price this. We have a really early Gibson, potentially a 1938.
Wow, that's an early one. Well, if it's a 38, it's a Super Jumbo. It's the first year that they made these. And it came to be one of Gibson's most famous guitars. Everybody has played and recorded with Super Jumbo, Neil Young, The Who. So to have a first-year production, that's a big deal. The 38 Super Jumbo is one of the most iconic sounding guitars there are. It was loud. It had a really nice mellow low end to it. They even make a reissue of the 38 the first year because it's such a significant guitar. You mind if I pick it up and take a look at it?
Go ahead.
All right, cool. Back looks in good shape. It's all rosewood. No cracks on the back. There's a nice piece of maple, it looks like maybe on the neck there. You got maybe one crack right here. The biggest thing is if there is a number on the inside of it, ink stamped in there. Well, yeah, this is 1938 for sure. It's got a D for the letter, and that was only used in 1938. So,
All right.
it's a Super Jumbo. That's super cool. The custom work on it, that makes it really cool. Who was she?
Peggy Eames, my mother, started out in the Our Gang silence, and from there she went into vaudeville when she outgrew Our Gang.
That is awesome. Our Gang was great, but she's not super well known. Do you guys have any other concerns with the guitar? Or?
No, I think you covered everything except that one big one. What's it worth?
Well, without that custom work on it, In this condition, this is probably a $40,000 guitar. The custom stuff on it takes it into a different realm. So you have a first-year guitar with custom stuff on it. This could possibly be 65, maybe even 70 grand for this guitar.
Yeah, okay, it's a little lower than I'm anticipating.
Getting almost double what a stock one is pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling me in on this one. This one's rad.
All right, thanks, man.
You know, a 38, this is only the second one of these I've ever seen in my life. It was really cool to get to hold one in my hands and not just looking at it on the pages of a book. An amazing instrument.
I'll give you $45,000 for the guitar.
Well, my intention was that the money would be used as a down payment on like a getaway cottage, call it Peggy's Cabin. My asking price, 75, is really where I still want to stay on it.
There's very few people in the world who have enough money to spend on a stock 1938 guitar. You bump that up to the few guys who buy the custom ones, it can take me years to sell something like this. That's what I can do. I mean, I will go $45,000.
If you were the end collector, is it of interest to you?
That's just it. I'm not the end collector.
65 would probably move me on it.
I'll go 47. I assume all the risk after that, you know what I mean?
I think I'll haul it around a little bit longer.
Okay? If you change your mind, I'm here.
Okay, I appreciate that. There's a lot more involved here than money. The family heirloom part of it is real strong. Maybe during a family gathering once a year, Peggy's Cabin, and it'd be like a memorial.
Can I help you?
Yes, I have some magic prototype cards. I think they might be of value.
Everybody loves magic. Oh, this is the other kind of magic.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering cards. Hold on a second. Gotta fill it right here. Magic the Gathering's a role-playing card game that was developed in the 90s. It's pretty cool to look at the prototypes next to the finished cards. For example, fire-breathing creature. This is a little baby blowing fire. But no, when the card came out, it was much cooler. It was a dragon breathing fire.
I'm here at the pawn shop today to try to sell some magic prototype cards. These magic cards actually come from my uncle. He's a huge collector, and we found them in a box of his. These magic cards are special because they're the only prototypes available. These are unique to the set and to the game itself. I'm looking to get as close to 25,000 as possible.
This is awesome. What was really cool about Magic the Gathering at the time, I believe it was the first card game that was meant to play and collect. What would happen, you know, when these came out is you would have your deck, I would have my deck, and we would battle each other. The game has evolved through time, but over 20 million people around the world play Magic. I mean, it is the most successful role-playing card game out there. So I see a lot of good stuff here. We have a unicorn summon, and over here we have the unicorn. Pretty cool. Ints, which looks like it turned into the iron root tree. I didn't realize you had so many of them here.
Yeah, I have quite a few.
So, what are you looking to do with these?
I'm looking to sell just the prototypes.
Okay, how much are you looking for?
25,000.
So here's the deal. You could easily have $25,000 here. You could have $200,000 here. I really just don't know. Trading card games are very collectible, and Magic the Gathering is the most expensive trading card game there is. This game has cards that are worth, you know, $100,000 in it. I just don't know what this is worth, so this is something I would like to get checked out by my expert. So what I think I'm gonna do is grab your number from you. I'm gonna need a couple days to see if I can set up a meeting with someone who actually knows about these. Then from there, we can talk about a price. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, that could work. Sounds good.
I'll meet you over there.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to make a deal today, but I'm willing to wait and see what could happen. I know that these cards are worth something, so hopefully patience will be a virtue.
Hey, chum, how you been?
I'm good. Here's my boss, Rick.
Rick, how are you?
You have a store that just sells cards for these games?
That's it. It's a huge market. I get some of Chum's money here and there.
Hey, there's my guy right now. Harrison, how you doing?
Good.
Come on back here. Excited to see what you got.
So,
Put some gloves on for these.
these are the prototype cards I was telling you about.
So what you guys have here, these are the Gamma playtest cards.
The Gamma playtest cards.
Yeah. So basically, this is the first set of playtest cards that resembles the first set of Magic. The first one that really resembles what the game ended up looking like. These are the pieces of paper that they gave to roughly 40-ish people to test out Magic to make sure that it played right.
So are they real?
Well, I have one in my case here that is authenticated.
So it's been graded and authenticated.
This is a Time Walk. This is the card that Time Walk became. Time Walk. Similar to that. To me, the print looks right, the stamp is right. Just because this is a collection of all these together, I would say that these are authentic.
So, these are collectible?
That's the magic question, isn't it? These are very collectible, yes. I would say that probably 90% of these got thrown in the trash before the game came out. These are incredibly rare. Most people that play Magic wouldn't even know that these exist.
Okay.
What kind of price are we looking at?
Because of how scarce these are, I would roughly say about $400 a piece.
And we got 27, right, Harrison?
Yes.
Rick, how much is that?
$10,800.
One thing I can say, because of how scarce these are, these almost cannot go down in value. These are a steadily increasing set.
I appreciate you looking at them. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let you guys talk.
So, you're asking $25,000. Don says they're worth $10,800. Would you take $6,200?
Gosh, that's kind of steep. Do you think we could do like 10,500 maybe?
No, that makes no sense. Sort of like the game.
Okay, well, yeah, in that case, I'm gonna probably have to pass.
7,500?
Gosh, well, I mean, based off what Don said with the value, you know, increasing every other year, I mean, I think I'd probably actually have to hold off. Sorry.
Well, Rick, looks like we're gonna have to go play with another deck. I got a Magic lesson set up next door.
A lesson to play this card game.
You'll probably be better than me, don't worry. Appreciate you, Harrison. Thanks for bringing them by.
Appreciate you as well.
Come on, Rick.
There wasn't any magic happening here today, so I'm just gonna gather up my cards and head home.
Tell me what we got here.
It's a samurai sword that my grandfather gave me. Said he took it off a soldier on Okinawa in World War II.
Okay. Do you mind if I take a look at the blade?
Have at it.
It's your sword. I'm gonna let you open it. These things tend to cut people.
I'm looking to sell my samurai sword from World War II. The sword has sentimental value because my grandfather gave it to me when he passed on. If it's worth a life-changing amount of money, the sentimentality might go away a little bit, but we'll, I guess, cross that bridge when we come to it.
This is definitely cool. What's absolutely crazy and what people just don't realize about these things is that a soldier in World War II could have had one of these on him, and he very well might not have even known it was 700 years old. And the reason that is because they were typically a long-standing family heirloom. You know, you would go to war and you'd go get the family sword from mom's house, grandma's house, grandpa's house, whatever. And they were made so perfect the first time that they never really needed to evolve. It wasn't like Europeans with the broadsword, the dagger. No, this is all they needed. It worked just fine. You ever had anybody take a look at it or anything like that?
I haven't.
Okay, I've purchased these swords for $300. I've purchased these swords for $300,000. And there's swords out there that are worth $3 million. But they're really kind of hard to figure out. At the end of the day, the only way to actually date this sword and find out more about it is to take the handle off and look at the tang, which is the part of the blade that extends into the handle. And there's going to be a maker's stamp that says how old this thing is. But I don't speak Japanese.
Me neither, so.
But I have a guy that does. Do you mind if I bring him in?
Absolutely not. That'd be great.
All right, well, hang out. I'll be back in a little bit, okay?
I'm hoping the expert is just that and can tell me some history and what it's worth.
Hey, what's up, Corey?
I only call you for one reason, right?
Always the same, right? Well, let's see what you got. So with your permission, I'd like to take it apart to see what's inside.
Absolutely.
So Japanese swords are held in with basically only a little pin will hold the entire blade.
Wow.
Don't try this at home. Well, this sword is quite interesting, actually. It doesn't bear the date, but because of the lack of rust on the tang, and it has a piece of lacquer here showing like an arsenal clearance, it is a sword manufactured during World War II for the war effort. A lot of those swords that were made during that time were machine-made. It would have a little stamp, like a Showa stamp or a Seki stamp. But when they don't have the stamp, they would be handmade. In this case, this bears no stamp, and the signature is of a smith called Kaneshige. He worked in Gifu or Seki during the war, and they were almost like a factory to make swords for the war effort as much as possible. But once in a while, they did make one the traditional way, and this is one of those.
So, Mike, what do you think it's worth?
So, because of the condition and the fact that it's a handmade blade, I'd say $2,000 would be a fair price.
All right. Well, Mike, I appreciate you coming down.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll give you 1,000. Sound good to you?
Well, I was hoping I would have one of those rare ones that was worth 100 grand, and that might change my life, but a lot of sentimental value here in this sword. I think I'm just gonna keep it.
All right. Well, if you change your mind, I'll be here, okay?
All right, appreciate it. I guess I'm not real disappointed I didn't sell the sword, because I do really love it. And the money, for me, isn't life-changing, and so I think we'll be happy to have it up on a place of honor on the wall.
What is this?
That is a thermonuclear weapon cover.
Holy.
I bet you've never seen one before.
I'm 49 years old, and I remember the nuclear bomb drills. Get underneath your desk, put your arms over your head like this, and kiss your ass goodbye.
This item is significant to this modern day because in Las Vegas, we're close to where the thermonuclear and the atomic items were tested. I would like to ask $800. If you think of what it costs our country to build something like this, I believe that this item is well worth that price.
This protective cover is a genuine part of a dismantled model B-57 thermonuclear weapon. Okay, that is definitely cool. So this was a thermonuclear weapon as opposed to a nuclear weapon, which means it was a hydrogen bomb, correct?
That is correct.
The building of the nuclear bomb was the biggest project in World War II. And in the early 50s, they figured out how to make the thermonuclear bomb, which is like 1,000 times more powerful, correct?
Yes.
It's pretty rare that a part from a thermonuclear weapon comes into the pawn shop. And if this really is what the plaque says it is, it's cool. It's really cool. Where did you get it?
I was a physicist and had a lot of connections and involvement with the military. So at one of those military installations in New Mexico, this really stuck out. And when I found out it was for sale, I just had to have it.
Okay. Removed before flight? But how did you remove it before flight? Because aren't the nuclear warheads underneath a giant... There's like the top of a rocket, and underneath that, the nuclear warheads are underneath that, and it's all like bolted together and stuff, so how could you remove that before flight?
I think this was, it must be, because it says flight, it was probably on an aircraft.
Okay. There's a couple things that are just not adding up. And hey, I'm no rocket scientist. And you need a rocket scientist to figure this one out. Literally. How much do you want for it?
I'd like to ask $800.
Okay. Do you mind if we take this over to the Atomic Testing Museum? There's a guy there who will know exactly what this is.
Oh, I'd love it.
Give me a few minutes, and we'll run over.
All right.
Okay?
I believe the museum will assure us that it is what I think it is, and I'm confident we can make a good deal.
Hey, Alan.
Hey, Rick, good to see you. I'm the executive director of the National Atomic Testing Museum.
Things have become more collectible from nuclear weapons simply because of their awesome power. So, Rick, this looks kind of familiar.
Well, good, because we're trying to figure out exactly what it is.
Let me take a look at that real quick. I noticed that there's a plaque on here. And the plaque talks about it being part of a thermonuclear bomb, a B-57. But let me tell you a little bit about this bomb, the B-57, that this plaque refers to. It was made, you know, for a strike force that was a smaller fighter that would go in. These were bombs that were used in theater and at shorter distances.
Okay, so this was a thermonuclear bomb. This had hydrogen in it.
Well, no. This one was a nuclear weapon. The fission and fusion bombs, the thermonuclear bombs, were really big.
So what you're saying here is that the plaque is wrong.
That's right.
Okay.
So, Rick, what are your real concerns about this?
You know what? It's cool, but it's only gonna be really cool and worth money if it belonged to a nuclear bomb.
Yes. And the answer to that, we'll have to find by trying it out.
You got one of these bombs here?
We just happen to have one hanging around here.
I'm leaving the building right now. Thermonuclear, nuclear, it makes no difference to me as long as it's real. Because if it's real, it's badass, and badass always sells. That's it, huh?
This is it.
Whoa.
This is a B-57 tactical nuclear weapon. They had to cover it and protect it while it was on the ground getting ready to be loaded, because it's pretty easy to run this into something. And here's why. We'll take this off and I'll show you. This is a composite nose cone, and behind this was a radar altimeter. That's what would tell the bomb to trigger and to go off. So why don't we see if this is the same one? It ought to fit.
So basically, if this cover fits this bomb, it's authentic.
Yeah, try it. Let's try it out and see.
Okay.
Well, it fits perfectly, and it looks the same. Yeah, look at that.
Thanks, man. We know it's legit now, and I'm gonna try and make a deal with this guy.
Good, let's do that. First of all, it's nice that someone retained this so we'd have some example of it. That was the leading edge of our defense against the old Soviet Union. It was the first line of defense. You know it's real.
It's hard to ascertain a value. You understand what I'm saying? How much do you want for it?
800.
You know, it's interesting, it's great, but I gotta find someone who's gonna buy it. Will you take $300 for it?
I don't know. It's got to be worth 700. Think of the millions or billions that went into building this.
We just meet in the middle at 600? That's even above the middle.
We go in the middle, 650.
6 1/4?
6 1/4.
We got a deal.
All right. I bought the item 19 years ago for $35. When it fit perfectly, I just knew that it was going to be a good day for me. I got to say, I'm the bomb.
I have Wayne Gretzky's last professional contract when he was with the New York Rangers.
This is really cool. Who are you, his agent or something?
I wish I had that kind of money. I came to the pawn shop today to sell my Wayne Gretzky signed contract. I'd like to sell the contract today because I really could use the money right now. I'd like to get $3,000. The least I'll take is $2,000.
So where'd you get this?
A friend of mine that I rented a house to gave it to me in lieu of paying me. He's the witness for it. He worked at Madison Square Garden. He knows I'm a huge Wayne Gretzky fan. There's only 5 contracts in existence. The NHL has one. Neil Smith, the general manager, has one. Wayne Gretzky has one, the Rangers, and then his copy.
I mean, I can't tell you one hockey player in the world right now, but I can tell you Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, I mean, he was the best player ever.
He was on the Wheaties box.
Yes, he was.
Baseball's got Babe Ruth, basketball's got Michael Jordan, and for hockey, it's Wayne Gretzky. A lot of people don't know a damn thing about hockey, but everybody knows about Wayne Gretzky. Mind if I take a look through it?
Be my guest, be my guest.
So he made $4.5 million a year for the first 2 years, and then $5 million a year after that.
Exactly, and he also got a $3 million signing bonus just for, signing the contract.
So this guy's paycheck was $500,000 twice a month.
Exactly. Can you imagine getting a check like that all the time?
I wouldn't be here, man. This contract's really cool. I mean, it belonged to the greatest hockey player of all time and has all kinds of cool details in it. I can't see any hockey fan not wanting it, so I gotta get it. So what do you want to do with it, man?
I'd like to sell it.
Give me an idea of what you're looking to get out of it.
It's really hard to put a price tag on something like this because it is a once-in-a-lifetime thing you're gonna see, but I'm looking maybe around 3,000.
You think it's real?
You know, I don't know. I think it is, but how do you even know for sure? You know, I'm gonna give a buddy of mine a call and have him come down and take a look at it.
Okay, cool. That sounds great to me. There's no question in my mind that this is real, and I'd love to have them bring in an expert. The contract is definitely worth more than just a signature on a puck or a stick. It's unique, and it's one of a kind.
Hey, Jeremy, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, guys? The guys call me down to the shop anytime a really unique or rare piece of sports memorabilia comes in the door. What do we find this time?
We got Wayne Gretzky's contract.
You got the great one right there, man. This is really special. Where did it come from?
A buddy of mine gave it to me.
That's a heck of a present.
It's pretty clear he's the greatest hockey player of all time, right?
Absolutely, he is. In his 20-year career, he just shattered the record books and is the leader in every major offensive category. By the time he retired, he had the career record for most points with 2,856, which is 1,000 more than the second closest guy. Wayne Gretzky wasn't known as the fastest, the strongest guy on the ice, but he just had such natural talent, such vision, that he could actually almost slow down time and anticipate where the puck and everybody else was better than anybody else has ever done. What are your concerns with the contract?
I mean, it's not like it's a jersey or a stick or something. I mean, it's a contract. I don't really know what the market is, and I don't even know if it's real.
Yeah, with contracts being as scarce as they are, it's a lot more difficult to gauge a value just because there's only a few of these that are made up each time. Let me take a look at the contract, and we'll see what we have.
Okay.
Now, with signed contracts like this, the signatures on them, they're what determine whether it's worth thousands or pretty much worth throwing in the recycling bin. So let's have a look at the autographs. We have a signature from Wayne Gretzky. Right above him, Neil Smith, who was the GM of the Rangers. And over to the left here, this would be a witness to the signature. Now, Wayne Gretzky's signature in particular, it's a very quick and abbreviated autograph. The main characteristics are the W in Wayne, the G in the Y in Gretzky. The G in particular almost looks like the symbol for pi, where it comes up on the left side, kind of loops at the top, drops straight down on the right side. The Y in Gretzky pretty much is almost like the number 7 with an arc on top. What you have here, it's not a reproduction, it's not a forgery, but a 100% authentic contract signed by Wayne Gretzky.
That's great. That's what I wanted to hear from you guys.
Now, the value of it, this is very special, and I would expect at least $4,000 for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, it's definitely a rare piece.
Jeremy, man, I appreciate it.
You got it, Corey.
Thank you.
Signed contracts in general have a very narrow market. They're extremely rare, but considering it's Wayne Gretzky, with the right exposure, I don't see him having a problem selling it.
After hearing that, how much do you want for it?
Well, he said it's worth $4 grand. I'd like to get at least 3. Like I said, you're never gonna see another one like this come through the shop.
What you have is really cool, but I would almost rather you have a bunch of pucks or sticks or something, because it's gonna be hard to sell this. It really is. I'd go like $1,500.
That's just a little bit too low. I can't do that.
I mean, it's gonna be such an issue displaying it. It's not like something you would have framed or matted. It's almost like a book. You know, to actually sell this, I'm probably gonna have to take out ads somewhere and let people know I have it for sale. Would you go 18?
How about 25?
I'll go $2 grand. That's the best I can do.
Can you split it with me? Give me $2,250?
$2,100. $2,100. That's it.
Sounds good to me. I can do that.
All right. John, you want to take care of it?
Yep. Grab the contract and meet me at the desk.
Personally, I think it's worth a little bit more, but I'm very happy with getting the $2,100 for the contract. Like I said, the money will be used, you know, and in a great way, and that's what I came here for today.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
What do we got here?
This is a Sony Walkman.
Okay, that's a little antiquated.
Well, this is real special. This is silver-plated, personally given to John Entwistle.
From the who?
Yeah, he was my first husband.
Whoa. You must have had a really crazy life.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Explains the glasses.
Yeah. I came down to the pawn shop today because I wanted to sell my silver Walkman. There were only 250 of them made. I'm hoping to sell this Walkman for $2,000, but the lowest I'll go is $1,250.
So how did you meet John Entwistle?
I come from men's tailoring. I did a lot of suits, and one of my best clients was Keith Moon, and we became fast, furious friends. And later on, I got to meet John Entwistle.
I mean, I love The Who. I mean, they just had a really original sound like nobody else.
That's right.
In 1964, a British rock band named the Detours changed their name to The Who and got themselves a new manager. After selling over 100 million records, it's safe to say The Who is one of the greatest rock bands of all time. So this was given to John?
Yes. They all were presented with this as part of the promotion. It was 10 years.
The 10-year anniversary of the
Walkman. That's correct.
It was the iPod of the 80s. When they first came out in '79, it's right when rare earth magnets became cheap and they could make the little headphones.
Right.
Before this, there was no portable music besides having a gigantic boombox on your shoulder. I'm usually not interested in old electronics because generally they're worthless. But a Tiffany silver-plated Walkman owned by one of the original members of The Who, that's pretty badass. If the price is right, I would love to own this thing. What'd you want to do with it?
Sell it.
Okay, how much did you want for it?
$2,000.
That's a lot of money.
Well, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about $700.
Ooh.
I mean, it's one of those things that's really hard to come up with a value. I mean, it did belong to John, but it's a Walkman. 900.
15? I mean, it's one-of-a-kind item.
I can't do 15. It's too much money.
The lowest I'll go is $12.50.
I don't know, Pops. This is one of those weird things that I think someone's willing to buy just to say they have it.
Yeah.
What do you think we should pay for this?
I'll pay her the $12.50.
Okay.
You take $12.50 for it?
Sure. That sounds like a deal.
All right, $12.50.
All right.
All right, write her up, Corey.
Let's go do some paperwork.
We don't make any money. It's your fault.
It's risky to override my dad on a deal like this because now if it doesn't sell, it's on me. But I really think we can make a nice profit on this thing. Check it out, Grandpa. That's a Tiffany sterling silver Who Walkman.
That Corey paid too much for it.
What do you mean I paid too much
He
for it?
paid too much.
You don't even know what he paid for yet, Dad.
It's worth about $2 on today's market.
Oh, it's worth more than that, but he did overpay for the damn thing.
Well, I thought we had to build inventory for our growing business here.
We got to get it at the right price, dum-dum.
He's just gonna keep it anyways. It's from The Who.
Look, I got a tape here. Let's play it. Uh-oh.
Here, let me fix that. Dad, it's made in 1989. It's way too high-tech for you. As a matter of fact, I'll give you $50 if you can put this tape in there in less than 30 seconds.
I'll double it.
All right, here you go, Pops. I'm timing you right now. Go, go, go. 25 seconds. 20 seconds.
Oh, you got it. Oh, you better eat your words, boy.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
It don't fit.
They never made different size cassettes.
Just slam it shut. Get it in there.
It don't fit. Just give me the $50.
What do we have here?
These are a certified copy of the Saddam Hussein prints that were taken when he was arrested in Iraq. The originals are in the FBI vaults, but there's 44 original certified copies.
Where did you get these?
I was an FBI agent, so I was over there, and they gave all the agents a certified copy when they left.
Okay. Definitely something different.
Yeah. I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my certified copy of the Saddam Hussein fingerprints. I thought, you know, if I could sell the prints and take the money and do something special with my wife and my family, that might be kind of fun. I've had some people say these are worth a lot of money, like thousands and thousands of dollars.
This guy basically did whatever he wanted, and someone disagreed with him. He just shot him. It's hard to get in somebody's head like that, you know what I mean?
You know what happens to us for like 30 years, he never left Iraq. So he starts thinking the whole world centers around Iraq. And he starts to think that he's the prime minister of the world or something.
Saddam Hussein was a bad guy. He became president of Iraq in 1979 and stayed in power as a brutal dictator until the U.S. overthrew him in 2003. Were you there the day he was captured?
Yeah, I was in Iraq. He still felt like it was his country, he was the ruler, and that we were infringing upon Iraq's sovereignty.
Yeah, I'm pretty amazed that he actually even signed it.
He wouldn't sign it until it was fingerprinted. I guess he thought we were gonna switcheroo, like we put somebody else's fingerprints on there. Super paranoid.
Normally, I don't buy memorabilia that has something to do with really bad people. But this represents a major victory for U.S. Armed Forces, and that's pretty cool. But still, putting a price on something so creepy won't be easy. You know, it's gotta be worth money to someone. I don't know how to put a price on it, and I don't know anybody to call.
I've always thought the best buyer would be some Kuwaiti sheik.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you my best offer. I'll give you 1,500 bucks. We can make a deal there. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
I think if it was an auction and there was a guy who collected war memorabilia, something like this might be attractive to him, and they might get upwards of, you know, $10,000.
Maybe you could get it, but I'm not going to go anywhere near that.
Sentimentally, it's worth more to me than that, so.
Well, thanks for bringing it in. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
Have a nice day.
Pleasure. Well, we weren't able to make a deal today. I'll probably just hang on to them. For now, they'll probably just go back up on the wall in my office.